Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakammalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we continue with Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 31. Swadharmamapi cha vekshya na vikampitumārhasi dharma yaddi yuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Swadharmam, one's own religious principles, api also, cha indeed, avekshya considering, na never, become bitum to hesitate, arhasi you deserve, dharmyat from religious principles, he indeed, yuddhat of fighting, shreya better engagements, anyat anything else, kshatriyasya of the kshatriya, na does not, vidyate exists. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Considering your specific duty as a kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and there is no need for hesitation. Purport. Hare Krishna, Pranjal Prabhu Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Out of the 4 orders of social administration, the second order, for the matter of good administration, is called kshatriya. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with the sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This system is being followed up to the present day by the kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle in the religious law books. It is never a factor or principle. In the religious law books, it is stated, Ahaveshu mitonyonyam jigammasantuma yuddhamanah param shaktya svargam yantya paranmukha jagneshu pashavo brahman hanyate shatatam dvijai samskrita kila mantraischa tepi svargam avapnuvan. In the battlefield, a king or a kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on the religious principles and the killing of animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religions involved. The animal sacrifice gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed in the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas, who attain them by offering sacrifices. There are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of the particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual, and it is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the fourth chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnasrama Dharma, or specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action in accordance with Varnasrama Dharma serves to elevate one to a higher status of life. Hare Krishna, Varun Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhu, you can read the next verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I read, Swami Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Oh. Yachaya yat yat yadrachaya chopananam swargadwaram apavratam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddhatrisham yadorchaya by its own accord. Cha also upapananam arrived at Swarga heavenly planet. Dwaram door. Apva Apavartam wide open. Sukhina very happy. Kshatriya the member of the royal order. Partha O son of Partha. Lavante do achieve. Yudham war. Idarsham like this. Translation O Partha, happy are the Kshatriya whom such a fighting opportunities come unsought, opening them of the doors of the heavenly planets. Purport. As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude Arjun who said, I do not find any goods in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such a statement by Arjun were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be in the battlefield and to become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. In the Parashara Smriti or religious code made by Parashara, the great sage and father of Vyasdeva, it is stated, Kshatriya hi parajo rakshan sastra paniha pradanayan nirajatya prashanyadi shittam dharmaina palayat. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizen from all kinds of difficulties, and for the reason he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings and those with religious principles. He should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjun had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets. Whose doors were wide open to him, fighting would be for his benefit in either case.
Hare Krishna. अथ चित्वम् इमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रमं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्स्यसि. Atha therefore, Chet, if Tvam you imam this dharmyam religious duty sangramam fighting na do not karishyasi perform tataha then swadharmam your religious duty kirtim reputation cha also hitva losing papam sinful reaction avapsyasi do gain translation if however, you do not fight this religious war, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as fighter. Purport. Arjuna was a famous fighter, and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashupata Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benediction and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adopted father Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, he would not only neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting but by withdrawing from the battle. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, few minutes, Prabhu. I will be back, Prabhu. Few minutes, I will.
Hari Bol, I read another one. Akirtim.
Okay, I can read.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Prabhu, I think you are mute.
Yes, Prabhu, you can read it. Hari Bol. Can you hear me?
Akirtin chapi bhutani katha yastet vyayam sambhavatasya chakritir maran maranad atrichyate. Okay. Akritim, infamy, cha, also api, over and above. Bhutani, all people. Kataschanti, will speak. They of you. Avyayam, forever. Sambhavitasya, for a respectable man. Cha, also. Akirti, ill fame. Maranat, then death. Trichyate, becomes more than. People will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Purport. Both as a friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield, now people will call you a coward even before your actual fight. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing away from the battlefield, then my advice is that you would better to die in battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in the society. So the final judgment of Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not to withdraw. Text 35. Here Ranat Uparatam Imam Sanketam Maharata Yesham Chatam Bahumato Bhutva Yashi Lagavam. Bayat, out of fear, Rupat from the battlefield, Uptatam seized,
Manasante will consider from unto you. Maharatha, the great generals, Yesam of those who shall also from you Bahumatha in the great estimation. Bhutva, you will become. Yes, 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 Yayasi, will go. Lagavam, decreased in value. Occasion, the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. Purport. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna, and other contemporaries will think you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfathers. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. Text 36. Avacha vadam cha bahun vidyashyanti tavahita nin nindantastos samarthas samarthayam tato dukkhatram nukin. Avacha unkind vadan fabricated words. Cha also woman when vadis vadishyanti will say tava your ahita enemies. Vedanta will while vilifying tava your samarthyam ability. Tataha thereafter dukhatar dukhataram more painful. You of course came modest there. Translation: your enemies will describe you in many unkind words, as if thrown your ability. What could be more painful for you? Purport: Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting for the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Text 37. Ato va praप्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोगेसे महम् तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय उत्थेय कृतनिश्चय. Hata being killed, va either prapyasi, you gain Swargam, the heavenly kingdom, jitva by conquering, va or bhogyasti, or you enjoy Vahum the world. Tasmas, therefore, Utishta, get up, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Yudhya to fight, Krita determination, Nishchaya uncertainty. O son of translation, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and the heavenly planets and attain heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Purport: even there was no uncertainty of victory for Janna's side, but he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he could have been elevated to the heavenly planets. Text 38. Sukha sukha dukhe samme kritva labhav jaya jaya. Tato yudhya tato yudhya vijayasva naivam papam avapyasi. Sukha happiness, dukkha and distress, same in equanimity, kritva doing so, labha labha labham, labha labham, in both in loss and profit, jaya jaya, both in defeat and victory, tata thereafter, Yudhya, for the sake of fighting. Shiva, do fight, no never. Even in this way, Papan's sinful reaction of yes, see, you will gain. Association. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness, distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by doing so you shall never incur sin. Purport. But Krishna now directly says to Arjuna that you should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or gain, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness, and there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to reaction, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself to the activities of Krishna consciousness no longer ob- obliged to anyone, nor he is debtor to anyone. As one is in the ordinary course of activities, it is said. देवऋषि भूताप्तानरं पित्रानं न किङ्करो नयं निरनिचारजम् सर्वतं सर्वत्मना यः सारणं गतो मुकुन्दं बहिर्देक्षितम्. Anyone who is completely surrendered unto Krishna Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor he is obliged to anyone, nor not the demigods, nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor the kinsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. This is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, and the matter will more be clearly explained in the following verses. Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, Haribol. I can read this one. Esa te bihita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrenu buddhya yukto yaya parta karma bandham prahasyasi. Esha, all these te unto you abhihita described, Sankhya by analytical study, Buddhi intelligence, Yoge work without fruitive result, 2 but Imam this Renu just here, Buddhya by intelligence, Yukta detailed, Yaya by which, Partha son of Preta, Karma Bandham, bondage of reaction, Prahasya, see, you can be released from. Translation. Thus far I have declared to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without fruitive result. O son of Preta, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. According to the Nirukti or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes phenomenon in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom of by conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering them, and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification. For there is a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper, and he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future. Because all of us are individual souls eternally and we simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Krishna, and this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as Sankhya. In terms of the Nirukti dictionary, the Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila. Long before the impostor Kapila Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expanded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother Devahuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or the Supreme Lord is active and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification, and under the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of Maya or sense gratification illusion. And it is only after many births of such sense gratification activities that the great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth. Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself unto him. Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. This Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in the chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna consciousness, attains to the highest stage of Buddhi Yoga by the special grace of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does He award the pure knowledge of devotion in love. In that way, the devotee can reach Him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God. And thus the Buddhi Yoga mentioned in this verse is the devotional service of the Lord. And the word Sankhya mentioned herein has nothing to do with the atheistic Sankhya Yoga enunciated by the impostor Kapila. One should not therefore misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein has any connection with the atheistic Sankhya. Nor did that philosophy have any influence during that time. Nor would Lord Krishna care to mention such godless philosophical speculations. Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But even that Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics. Here, Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapila's Sankhya, as described in the Bhagavatam, are one and the same. They are all Bhakti Yoga. He said, therefore, that only the less intelligent class of man make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Of course, atheistic Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with Bhakti Yoga, yet the unintelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga is referred to in the Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness in the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental qualities automatically by the grace of the Lord, and thus his liberation is complete in itself without this making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification. for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of the work that we perform.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances for Lord Srila Prabhupada. Text or Prabhu text. Text 40. Niha bahi karama naso site paratyavyo na vidyate swalpam apya asya dharmasya trayade mahatto bhayate. Means Prabhu, screen. Okay, Prabhu. No, there is not. Yeah, in this world, a big karma enduring nasaha loss asti. There is pratyavya diminution na never vidyate. There is swalpam little api. Although asya of this dharmasya of this occupation, they release us Mahatha of a very great Bhayate, Bhayat from danger. Bhayat. Translation from Srila Prabhupada. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport: activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small being of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plan has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in materialistic activities without 100% success, there is no profit. Nijamila, the performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100%. By the grace of the Lord, there is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणभुजां हरेर्भजन् न पाको पतेत् ततो यदि यत्र त्वा बहवधर्म अभूद अम्युष्य किम को अर्थ अक्तो भजतम स्वधर्मता. If someone gives up self-gratificatory pursuits and works in Krishna consciousness, and they falls down on account of not completing his work, what what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his materialistic activities perfectly? Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad 1.5.17. Or as a Christian says, what profit a man if he gain the whole world yet suffers the whole of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries the person person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, neither in the family of a great cultural Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a future chance for elevation. And that is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Text 41. Can I continue, bro?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, bro. Vyavasyatmika buddhir yekhiha kuru nandana bahu sakhaye anantyascha buddhyo vyavasyanam vyavastamika result Krishna consciousness buddhi intelligence eka only one iha in this world kuru nandana, O beloved child of the kurus, bahu sakha various branches he indeed antaha unlimited cha also buddhayaha intelligence avyashanyama of those who are not in Krishna consciousness. Translation from Srila Prabhupada. Those who are on this path are resolved in purpose and their aim is one. Oh, beloved child of the Gurus, the intelligence of those who are resolved in many branched purport. A strong faith in Krishna consciousness that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasyatmika intelligence. The Chaitanya Charitamrita states Shraddha Sabhede Visvasya Kahe Sudhardha Nischaya Krishna Bhakti Kaliye Sarva Karma Krata Haya. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, or nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reaction from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plan, for they are no longer subject to dilute like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The result process of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge Vyasadeva Smara Sarvam iti sa Mahatma Suddharlabha, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vyasadeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As water on the root of a tree is automatically distributed to the leaves and branches. In the Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayers for the spiritual master as follows: Yasya prasadya Bhagavad prasado yasya prasadan nigati tatopi Dhyayam Saptum Tasya Tri Sandhyam Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindyam. By satisfaction of spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied, and by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plan of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him by my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul behind the conception of the body, not theoretically but practically. When there is no longer chance for sense gratification manifested in purity activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive acts. Can I continue, or is there anything, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Now, I think we need to go to six Astakam pairs now.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhu, okay. These in there very cold, in your place.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, today is snowstorm.
Oh, okay. Happy Ekadashi, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Today is Ekadashi also.
Okay.
So now it's only -1, but
Oh my God, Krishna.
it's raining snow a lot. And it's really windy today.
Oh, -1 degree. Oh, okay. Krishna. How you control, Prabhu?
I'm okay. It's warm
Oh,
inside.
okay. Krishna.
And now let's read six Astakam pairs. Yes, from this verse we learn that materialists cannot focus on one thing. They focus on one thing, then their mind goes another way, then they again focus on some other thing.
Yes, Prabhu.
Haribol. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagninirvapanam shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नां मकारि बहुधु निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् वापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् अयज्जनीननुग्रह
प्रणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानीन मानदेन कीर्तनीये सदा हरि
नदनं न चनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दनतनुजकिङ्करं पतितं मां विषं मे भवबुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितदूले सदा स्वं विचिन्तय
प्रांजल प्रभु प्लीज read. नयनं
Hare Krishna.
गलदश्रुधारया वदनं
Nayanam
गदगदरुद्धया गिरं।
Hari Bol.
पढ़िए 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 प्लीज रीड। कंटिन्यू प्रभु कंटिन्यू।
Continue, Prabhu, continue. I think Prabhu's network is
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकेर्निचितं वपु कदः तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति।
Yugaitam.
Yugaitam.
Yes, Prabhu, you can continue. Hari Bol.
Continue, Prabhu. Okay. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusa प्रवर्त्येतं सुनायत्यन्तीं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरहेण मे।
Asvisavapadaratam pinastu madarshanan marmahatam karotu va yatha tata va vidatu lampato matprananatastu saevana paraha. Translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
ओ माय लॉर्ड।
Lord, you are okay. Continue. Sorry,
पढ़िए
Prabhu. Sorry.
ओके पढ़िए। O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rule for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Ananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in world in your absence. The world absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Hari Bol, Shri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam
Hari
Sankirtan
Bol.
ki jai,
Jai.
Tattva ki jai, Nityananda
Jai.
ki jai, Shri
Jai.
Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Jai.
ki jai, Jagat Guru Shila
Jai.
Bhaktivedanta Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Prem,
Jai.
Hari, Hari,
Hari
Hare
Hari
Hare
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prabhu.